You're a baby.
Got anything for B?
But
Buttery.
Butts.
No.
Buttery.
Baseballs?
Maybe buttery. I was looking for...
You're listening to the
Belgian.
AfterBuzz TV Network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Archer After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Archer After Show.
That's right. That is exactly what it is.
Thank you.
Oh, that's what we're doing
Akamai Technology, by the way. I just want to say it again.
And
I'm just so
Bing.
thankful.
Yeah.
I'm just so thankful.
Bing is for doing, and we're doing an Archer
Podcast.
AfterBuzz TV show.
And it's also
It's
a podcast.
probably the best one you will ever see ever in your life. I'm just throwing that out
Of
there.
this episode
'Cause there's-
of Archer.
There's
on
space.
AfterBuzz
I'm predicting
TV.
this is my AfterBuzz prediction. This is going to be the best episode we ever do.
You're
of
doing the
AfterBuzz show.
prediction too early.
This is my prediction of this episode of our AfterBuzz.
Well, then you should have done it last episode.
Maybe
the
I did.
prediction
I'm just
section.
bringing it up.
Oh, do we?
John's back, everyone.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm back. I met Dave like 20 minutes ago.
It was pretty much a switch off. I tag teamed in for him, wrestling style.
Yep.
He
Okay.
was like, I gotta go
I'm
do
glad
some
you cleared it
comedy
up with
stuff. I'm
wrestling
out, and
style.
I was like, all right, I guess I'll jump in.
And then he jumped in. And now we're being jerks to each other. Just like you like it, America. And parts of Japan, I think.
That's right. We're sure. Why not? They have the internet. So Space Race Part 1. That is what this episode is entitled, and apparently a double meeting. Now that we're looking at the end.
Yeah, now that
It's
we've
like
seen the end of that that episode and the eugenics reference at the end.
Father of eugenics.
Oh boy.
We got a lot to talk about this episode.
We do.
We also have a little bit of interesting topic to talk about towards the end of the show. It seems that Archer is the stuff of cultural elites now. So we're going to give you a little bit more of the inside scoop on exactly what that means right after we suss out just what happened tonight.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Should we jump on at the beginning and how they end up in space in the first place?
That I think we should.
One of the greatest training sequences of all time.
Outdoes
Outdoes Rocky
Yeah.
and Rocky 2 and Rocky 3, which I think there was a training sequence in that.
There was
somewhere.
probably, yeah, that might be the one where he chases a chicken around.
Oh, is that?
But as
Oh,
we all know,
yeah.
Rocky 4 is the most important one, though.
Yeah. Because it sets up what
Is that
will
the one
ultimately
where-
be the most important conflict in Rocky's life.
Is that where he goes to
With
space?
himself.
Oh.
No, you're
My
thinking
bad.
you're thinking of Leprechaun 4.
Yeah.
So close.
Equally good movie.
Pretty much. So it's funny though in this one that I think there wasn't a single mission that they were successful, except for maybe Archer on the plane. That was it. I guess he was successful on the
Training goes,
Archer
yeah.
dominated the zero gravity.
Zero gravity.
He was
The only one
killing
without
that.
vomit on himself.
That's right.
And also rode other people into vomit.
Into vomit.
Which
I think might be one of the funniest images in all of television. Is
As
Archer
vomit.
riding Cyril into a cloud of Lana's vomit while holding his mouth open.
Wasn't that just horrible? Just waiting for that.
I didn't
moment to happen?
realize what was happening until the cloud of vomit came into the screen, and I was like, "Oh God,
They're about
thank
to
you
do
for doing
this.
this."
See, because they
Yep.
weren't showing the vomit up until that point, I was surprised they actually showed that. They
Yeah.
didn't show them vomiting, but they showed somebody eating vomit. So
Free
that
floating
was
around in
yes,
space.
free
Really,
floating.
they're flipping your expectations, and it wasn't in space.
This
It was
is true.
floating around in a zero gravity airplane
Well, sucks
in
to
a
you.
parabolic arc.
on a parabolic arc.
I'm surprised you remembered that. That's,
Just a
That's the only thing I
real-
remember from this episode.
Yeah.
I'll just stay quiet for the rest of the night.
I
It's nice
remember
talking to you
it
guys.
was Chuck rocket, or what was
The
what was
Vomit
it?
Comet.
Vomit Comet.
Which is, it's actually what that thing is called. They actually use it for space training, and all of the zero gravity scenes in Apollo 13 were shot in over like 4 days in one of those.
So Tom Hanks was just
sick.
like yarfing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that
there.
has to be how they were going to do
Everything,
it, though.
and everything that was shot, everything that happens in zero gravity in Apollo 13, which is like 75% of that movie. The whole second act there in space.
It's pretty
That's why it was
intense
so
too.
revolutionary.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense too, because I actually read online this episode was also done like that. It was animated entirely in a zero gravity
That's right.
So they could
environment.
do it properly.
Right.
I mean, you can't animate what you don't know.
Very
As
true.
they say.
As they say.
I like Archer instantly destroying the training simulator by busting in with a fire extinguisher.
I think that was the one time he was praised, though.
Yeah, for doing something without thinking.
Yeah.
Way to go.
You need to be more like Archer.
Oh, come on.
I
would like your style.
I was trying to figure out, I was like, oh man, Cyril must have done something really wrong to make like all those alarms go off, and that's a really realistic simulator that it has smoke coming out of it, and no, it's just Archer busting with a fire extinguisher and setting it off, which is a nice touch. Oh, also nice touch, and I'm all about these like little minuscule touches that they've been throwing on these episodes as of late. Cyril, when he bumps into the wall for the first time in the zero gravity plane, and his glasses are just a little bit off, just a little bit off, and he can't be bothered to adjust them. It was that was equally, if not greater, funny than him being ridden into vomit.
That was, yeah.
We also had a moment at the beginning, though, when they first go into training with Archer doing a little bit of extra testing.
Oh, when he's getting
multiple enemas.
Somewhere between 6 and a dozen enemas.
I don't know.
How do you lose
blood
count?
taken.
That's a lot to
That's
not
a very
have a count for.
Yeah.
Why would you need more than one? Is my question.
Well,
I mean,
I think that's a question for Dr. Krieger.
Krieger is the man to ask for that.
But if you guys have the answer,
If you have an answer for how many enemas you need for space training, give us a call.
424-256-1633.
I don't want to hear about that.
Oh,
at all. Please.
Oh, what's that? We have a caller about enemas.
Super.
I think the amount of enemas you need for space travel is 14.
Thank you.
Thank you, guy
Neil
with a really
Armstrong.
high... Yeah, that was Neil Armstrong calling in.
After
really,
14
really troubling moment is after we've established that Archer has had an unknown amount of enemas, Mallory just decides to drink the random beaker by the sink, which is like understandable if you're just in a lab environment, but having heard that someone just had between 6 and 12 enemas,
Wait.
I would be distrustful of any liquid.
Yeah.
Greg, are you suggesting you're in a lab, you see a random liquid in a lab, and normally that's okay. It's only not okay when someone's had 6 enemas?
Listen.
That's what makes it not okay?
Okay, this is if you're
That
in
could
a
be
lab.
butt juice. That could be butt
if
juice.
you're in
Greg's
a lab,
like the HIV lab test facility, and he's like, whatever, that's okay.
no, realistically, if you're drinking stuff in a lab, and kids, take note, because this is very important. Can we get a disclaimer up?
This is
Can we
some
get a little
real-life
disclaimer up?
experience that he's about to drop on you.
He's going to drop some truth bombs, folks.
If you're in a lab, you're either going to be drinking an experimental government potion that makes you into like Spider-Man or something,
Which is awesome.
Which is a good thing to do.
some sort of
Usually the
like
Hulk, though, I think, for
Tim
that.
Leary government-sponsored awesome drug trip that'll probably
Also do
put you
that.
into a babbling state of non sequiturs
Which
for
is
the rest of your
awesome.
life.
Some MK Ultra shit going down.
Yeah, or a third thing, which is equally awesome. I don't know.
So basically,
liquid Viagra.
get into some government buildings, folks, and
And
drink
start drinking
everything
any
you find.
unidentified liquid you
'Cause
possibly can.
you're either going to turn into a superhero
Or
or,
a supervillain.
trip balls.
Or a super villain.
Or
though.
have-
He could be the Green Goblin.
That's
That was
a good
pretty much what it
point.
was.
Equally
But-
awesome.
But it's an equal chance of superhero or villain to tripping balls.
Also, logical fallacy.
I'll take
How
that.
is drinking a potion gonna get you a flying saucer board? Okay,
You get
that doesn't make any sense. It
insane
doesn't make any
smarts.
sense.
Insane smarts. You get
Greg.
the knowledge.
Greg, I think you schooled him on that one.
You get the knowledge to
Writing
make it.
furiously.
Poking the holes in your theory, sir.
So all of this training puts them, it launches them, I would say, into a zone that I would describe as dangerous.
Yes, it's a zone that is fraught with danger. as it were.
Some call it outer space. I like to call it space.
Or the cosmos.
Or whatever,
universe,
whatever the hell you want to
The
call it.
point is they're not on
stars.
Earth anymore.
Right. They shoot off into space in some sort of newfangled space shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly.
Crazy the technology they
Yeah.
have these days.
It was probably underfinanced.
Yeah.
Just like the Horizon was probably underfinanced. The Horizon, by the
goggles.
way, for those keeping notes at home, was the name of the space orbiting shuttle that they are going to go try and board.
It's the International Space Station.
Thank you.
That has been
Compromised.
mutinied.
Compromised by the French.
Mutinized?
Goddamn French.
Clowns.
Always.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mutiny of
mutant
clowns. So, what are they armed with? Slide rules and tang. But I love how horrible. I love that Mallory is all of a sudden on board the spaceship.
No reason.
No real training.
Just none.
Nope, she's just there.
Just being all short and
Yeah, like up to like this much of
Halfway.
her is in the helmet, so
She's all shifty-eyed, like poking out of the spacesuit.
Mhm.
It's a nice touch. I like Lana with just the awesome reading of "Do not like."
Yeah.
Did not like. I also like the Star Wars reference. I like that Archer thinks that the space station will have a cantina.
Yes.
Yeah.
Presumably one that goes
It's got
And let there be no question about this. Archer shot first.
He did.
Yeah, he sure did.
Nice.
So,
I good.
I feel like you also see every one of the characters come out for outer space. What are their specific wants and how do they deal with it in outer space? Archer wants alcohol, therefore the cantina. Lana wants practical things and therefore...
She wants to be not sick
Or
anymore.
not
Yeah.
sick, but, you know, practical things. So she wants something practical. Mallory will drink anything in front of her, and we see that.
So she wants to find the medicine cabinet to
She wants to find the medicine cabinet.
to drink the isopropyl.
I mean, we have Pam and Carol sneak on, and I'm saying this, I'm busting this out now, mainly so I can say Carol sees that you have to shock somebody back to life, and of course that's her thing. In outer space, that's what she's all about.
She's all about the party, and look
Yeah.
at
And the
very
party.
Lady Gaga-esque with that
with her little
hose tube.
yeah, her
But
little
thing.
But
oxygen.
it's just
duct.
funny because you see all of them do, and then Pam eating everything. But I mean, you see all of them doing their vices, outer space version. Vices.
I wanted to see the scene where Cheryl.
So Pam right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
I wanted to see the scene where Cheryl comes up with what she's gonna wear, because I feel like that would have been the scene. You know, the scene in Apollo 13 where the guys come into the
They dump
into the room
everything
and they're
on the
like,
table.
"All right, what can we make out of this?" And
She
that's
kinda
I
did
think
that.
that's exactly what she did with her
Yeah.
dress, which is awesome. And science. We need to fund the sciences, folks.
For science.
I do like how I get the impression they started looking more and more like the army guys from Alien as the
Yeah.
episode went on.
Even the gun with the ticker on the
looked
side.
like it. The vest totally looked like
Yeah.
it by the end. I
Good
thought it
catch.
was a nice touch.
I was kind of hoping that's where the show was
I
gonna
wanted
go,
someone
but-
to say game over, man.
Game over. We're gonna bite it on this rock. Which is in my daily vocabulary.
That's why I cannot wait.
Every day you wake up and say, game over. Game over, man.
Random
We're gonna
aside, I'm
bite it
hoping
on this.
Prometheus is going to be good. Sequel,
Okay.
prequel to Alien.
Oh
I
yeah.
also
it's
heard
coming
that that exists in the universe of both Alien and Blade Runner. Blade Runner is the Alien universe, isn't it?
Is it?
I think so.
Is
I think
it?
I've heard that. I think I read that
I'm
somewhere.
going to keep getting higher. as
Where
I
does
bet.
this fit into all of that?
You're gonna have to talk to Ridley Scott.
I
about that
think
one.
that would be pretty sweet to see a little Archer alien. Archersaurus in space. That'd be
No, I
baller.
can
Done.
almost see that being where the second episode's going to go, but let's not get to that yet. Let's keep talking about...
Wait, you mean this was
more.
a two-part
So-
episode?
So, oh my god. But wait, so Pam and Carol, though, how did the hell did they sneak on? That's the real question.
I loved
How-
it. Chim Chim in the Mach 5 style.
They somehow
They're
end
really
up on that
nice.
spaceship.
Well,
Yeah.
Archer snuck him on. Didn't
Yeah,
Well,
so he could get a little
Well, so you get a little
space,
action. But why would he sneak on
space
Carol?
strange. Just because. He probably figured that Pam would not come aboard if Carol was not there with her.
That is a logical fallacy, one which I will poke holes
Damn
in.
it!
No, I got nothing for that.
Oh, okay.
Can't we all just agree that they're happy? We're happy that they're on board.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
glad to see him.
I'm glad
glad to
that is.
I had written somewhere in my notes, 10 minutes in, no Pam or Carol. Sad.
And then, hooray!
Yay!
Chim chim.
And then the Pam shows up
Emotions get
so
toyed
she
with.
can drop on us a scene with Archer and do the Moab, which I'm gonna pull out there. What have we decided the Moab means? We've been debating this, and if you have an idea, call in at 424-256-1633.
We went the route of, I think most people did.
Google.
To acronym.
Or Bing. We
It's
binged
an
it.
acronym
Yeah,
for
I
We
something.
believe
binged
it's-
it.
So what is everyone's acronym?
Do you have one?
Do you have one?
I'm still going off of that if they're talking about Moab, Utah. And that's what I'm
Apparently
going
a
to say,
city.
okay? Moab, Utah. I don't need an acronym. It's based on the city of Moab. Whatever they
Okay.
do there.
I actually came up with two. I had my ovaries are Belgian. I don't know why. Just
Bulgin.
section.
There we
Bulgin. There we go.
go. That could
Change
work.
that. Or millions of ass bubbles.
I like that one.
That's a
That
good one.
one is my favorite.
He was
Both
there.
somehow.
Unless it's Belgian
pretending
waffles.
was sex.
Okay, I came up with 5, but I'm gonna give you my 3 best. So we've got money offered after butt sex.
Oh.
All right.
Make openings around buttholes. And finally, my personal favorite that I came up with. Mike O'Malley after bowel movement.
Who is Mike O'Malley?
The guy from Guts.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Yes, dear.
Oh, well then it would make sense
Yeah.
because he's a slime.
Yeah.
No, it's horrible.
Oh, terrible.
I had man on woman and baloney. I went with the W. It was the
I like-
Mo, as in Mo app.
I'll just go with
Interesting.
monkeys on a booty.
Okay,
Also possible.
There we go.
we don't know. We
Yeah.
tried to
Hopefully.
it out, but
Call in if you guys know.
Yeah. 424-256-1633.
Boom!
So-
We want to hear what you want a Moab to be.
so Barry.
Winner gets a Moab from Gray.
No,
Ooh.
no,
Ooh.
unless it's
Ooh.
awesome.
Can I call in?
Still no.
I want to call in now.
Yeah.
I think this would be a good a time as any to transition away from Moabs and talk instead about how this is the first of a 2-part series.
That's what it
as
is. Oh, it
were.
is.
Yes.
And not something that we see too often. We've seen like running storylines, and we've seen stuff that sort of carries throughout. But
We just saw a 3-part series.
the pirates,
Yeah.
pirates, but not too often do they do that. This is the
Yep.
first time that we have something where it's very like plot heavy, and it's okay. They're in this situation. How are they gonna get out of it?
That is
I
correct.
feel it was stronger than any other sort of like cliffhanger moment that
Oh,
they've
can
I agree.
Can I just throw out something?
Sure.
They completely dismissed everything with the Russians and the KGB and all of that. It's just gone.
Well, for now.
Well, for now, I mean, it could come back next episode, but at the
Maybe Barry's a stowaway. Maybe
Oh.
Barry's a rocket now.
But I just mean, like, all that stuff that we talked about and predicted for the future episodes is gone. Totally out. Just want to throw that out there.
Which also reminds me of one of the best lines, I think, of the episode, the R2-D2,
Yep.
in reference
More
to...
Star Wars.
Yes.
That was
Yeah,
a good one.
again.
Yes.
And that is how Archer wins Pam's heart back.
That
With
is
that
true.
little joke.
That's true.
It is pretty cute.
I'm
If I was
making note
mad
of
at
that.
Archer
How
and he
to bed
told me that-
women say R2-D2.
That's not gonna
That-
no.
No?
That's a very rare
Shit.
breed.
When talking about other girls, too.
Okay.
Although if you want to bed Greg,
Crossing
that's
that-
a real good one.
I
Making
would
note of
totally
that.
go for that,
So
ladies.
I say new pickup line at the bars right there.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying.
Incorporate that in there somewhere.
girl,
Remember
if
that.
this were Star Wars, you would be R2-D2.
There you go. I was
Oh.
wondering how he was going to incorporate
Yeah.
it. That totally works.
But you do have to. It has to start with girl,
Girl.
and you need to make it clear that you're spelling girl with a U and several R's.
Yeah.
You guys almost had a little
Girl.
harmonization.
We
thing
did.
going.
We did. We were about to barbershop
One.
quartet that.
We are actually boys to men.
1, 2,
Oh, not so much.
No.
That one, we fucked that one up.
Let's go back to the Star Wars canteen. See, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
We got that.
because we're all nerds.
Hey!
We can't do the girl, but man, oh man, do we have that cantina theme song down?
As long as it comes to nerdy things,
Yes.
by God, we got it.
Exactly.
That is right.
Right.
Welcome to the danger zone.
I liked how they set this one up to end,
Yeah,
though. I thought
did
it
too.
would all led to like a very logical place where you think. I kind of saw it coming. Not gonna lie.
What I saw
I did
coming,
too.
they did play with it a little bit for me. I thought that it was going to be an actual mutiny, and he was going to be a bad guy as opposed to being a mutineer.
Right.
Like, I thought it was going to play a little bit differently, but that's sort of more or less. But that's also more or less how it has to play out if you want to keep that suspense up.
Suspense
For the
it
next-
was.
I just thought
Yeah,
there wasn't going to
very.
be anybody on the ship when they got there. That's what I thought. Because I don't know, the most recent sci-fi movie I watched was Sunshine. I was kind of hoping it was going to be like that. If anybody saw that movie, it's great.
You're
but-
expecting just like aliens to pop
Or
out.
no, there's no
of
aliens in the
nowhere.
movie. It's just like there's nobody there because there's a mutiny and everyone has died except for one person who's gone completely insane.
Nice.
Sorry if I just ruined the movie. That doesn't totally
Spoiler
ruin it.
alert.
Spoiler alert.
Although that was a
Spoiler
5-year-old
alert.
movie.
Eh, whatever.
So you deserve for it to be ruined. I
Yeah.
never saw it though.
take that, internet.
Yeah.
Bam!
And on that note, I think it's time to go to our first commercial. Yes, gentlemen?
Sounds like a good idea.
And when we come back, we're going to have some
AfterBuzz
news.
TV. AfterBuzz TV.
Double up!
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after-shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
Why does that guy hate his coworkers so much?
I always wonder that. I like my coworkers.
I'm okay with
Not
that.
all of us have that luxury, as it were.
I mean,
It's just it's Sir Richard Wentworth. I'm
He's-
sorry, man. Just get some new coworkers.
I mean, I'm fortunate enough to really like my coworkers too, but I've heard that some people don't, and this guy's one of them, and that's why we're here.
Yep.
we're here for that
We're
guy.
here for you.
The
For
one
that
and
one.
only.
You're the only person who cares.
The only one in the world.
So,
He's the dude on Sunshine.
That's what-
Yes, there we go.
that's why he hates his coworkers, because he
They're all
hates
dead.
himself.
Oh, well, that too.
If only he had AfterBuzz.
Exactly. So the New Yorker, which some of you out there, if you're literate, should check out because it's a pretty good thing to read. I personally can't read, but
Still in training.
if I could read, I'd probably read the New Yorker.
Okay.
It has
Okay.
a reputation of being a bit elitist, a bit high class, a bit pinky out, if you will. Which is why I was really surprised to see a write-up of Archer in the New Yorker. It was part of a larger piece, granted, but they did focus on Archer pretty heavily. It was right in the opening paragraph, where they're talking about, the article is called Tool Time, and it's dissecting TV shows in which the protagonists are, for lack of
Jerk-offs.
a better word, jerks. And they basically broke it down into two categories, which I think we've kind of touched on before, where Archer he's not someone who's necessarily to be admired. He's
Right.
kind of a jerk, but we know that he's a jerk, and we don't put him up on a pedestal. Like, even if he's good at his job and that sort of thing, in some respects, not all, we know that, like, Archer is not an okay person. And what this article was doing was comparing that to other TV shows, and the one that they use is 2.5 Men, where Charlie Sheen's character, formerly Charlie Sheen's character, is just a scumbag and a jerk, but at the end of the episode it's like, oh, Charlie, you guy, if only everyone could be more like Charlie.
He's a lovable scamp as opposed to
Perfectly put.
a really, really bad guy who's a good spy, who at the end of the day is still a bad person who we're glad we don't have to know in real life.
So it was definitely an interesting article comparing those two shows amongst many others.
Including
Eastbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down.
It's Always Sunny.
Which we
Wilfred.
do here.
They totally.
Wilfred, which we do here.
Yeah, we'll be doing Wilfred coming back. Spoiler alert. And it was interesting to see. I thought it was something that we've touched on a little bit, but if you're interested in the psyche of Archer and the why of Archer, I would definitely check it out. It's, again, New Yorker Magazine. You can find it online. Article's called Tool Time.
And in a little bit more
actual news,
and only vaguely Archer related, they have announced a few more people have been brought on to Judy Greer's new ABC sitcom, including Ken Marino of Party Down and The State, and Wet Hot American Summer, and just all around funny dude. Unfortunately, the title of the show has been announced as American Judy, which is a pretty bad title.
I've heard worse.
That's true. I have heard worse, and it could be one of those things where it's just the working title for now. But basically, the crux of the AV Club article about Ken Marino signing on was, man, this show's gonna rule. I just wish it didn't have such a crappy name.
Admirable. And I'm sure, good for Judy. I'm sure it'll do well.
Yeah.
She's a
I mean,
funny,
it's hard
funny
to.
lady, so.
ABC's a little bit. I mean, they're stepping up their comedy game, certainly. But it was never like a solid place for a comedy to go until pretty recently. So.
In our humble opinions.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Please feel free to disagree.
Yes. We're not, as much as we like to think that we are, we're not the final say in these things.
Well, no, because we'll die someday. But until then,
our word is law.
We're basically the final say on everything.
All right.
And
Speaking
I think
of final says, I think it's
Can
about
we get
time
some AfterBuzz predictions?
let's get some of that theremin. Oh, there it is.
And now,
Have you missed
your
that?
AfterBuzz
It's missed you.
TV.
I know. I can tell.
We have that connection, me and you, with the theremin music. It just
It's because we know Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know Charlie.
You don't know
Charlie, Internet.
Poor jerks. So what y'all guys think is gonna happen? I think they're gonna be in space.
Always taking the easy way.
Really?
Take it,
I
John.
thought they'd just randomly not be in space the next episode, and it was all just a muse.
Ruse?
Why can't I? Whatever. I don't
It could
know.
also be a muse.
I'm sorry.
Archer could wake
They're
up
also
and be like,
muses.
at last I can finish my painting.
They're muses and during a ruse.
Right.
They're gonna be a muse after the ruse.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't blow a fuse.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit you.
You might have to choose.
Oh boy.
All
This is
right.
gonna get fun. Someone say something before Greg starts rhyming.
So
Anyway.
I think
I'm just paying my dues.
I don't think
You look tired. Take a snooze.
I no longer
God.
think there will be aliens. I was hoping there would be aliens.
I was
but-
kind of hoping for the same.
But I don't think there's going to be, because I feel like if there was, they'd probably feel the need to somehow continue it and use it, and it seems like they do like to somewhat base this show in reality. As much as they don't have necessarily the extra. I don't know. They have androids and shit. What am I talking about?
Yeah. They could go to Mars.
Oh
still.
yeah, that's
do
true. They could
they
have
make
Mars.
it to Mars?
Yeah.
We don't know.
And there
Well,
could
what-
be Martians.
Yeah, that's true.
Just
Although Mars is a 2-year journey. Just
Oh.
that.
Cryogenic freezing.
I'm a nerd. Sorry,
Uh,
guys.
I have a bit of a bombshell that I want to lay out to you guys.
Please explode.
I
it.
want to go ahead and make the prediction. Nice.
thank you.
That Lana is indeed not just sick from all of the space travel.
Oh, dear.
I think Lana's preggers.
Wow.
And I think they're setting that up for
something
as a bit of a cliffhanger.
But who is she preggers with?
We won't know. That's the cliffhanger for
that is the cliff that which we hang
the
from.
series finale, I think.
One finger right now.
That's...
Yeah, we're going to die
Does that
soon.
have something to do with the Moab? The one
It might. It might. Way to bring it back.
Oh, God.
I'm a horrible person.
We all are. We're deeply, deeply disturbed people. Also, great job, Bryan Cranston, on this episode.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even mention Bryan Cranston as the guest.
Yeah.
What jerks?
We suck. But Bryan Cranston didn't.
No.
It was good.
And I believe he's a friend of the network, so...
well.
So, rock and roll, Bryan Cranston. Rock and roll. Don't do the blue meth. Is that a thing?
Don't do the tang.
Whatever it is.
I'm going to lay off the tang.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I think that just about wraps us up. Any stray observations on this episode, fellas?
Stray observations. Fuck you, space.
Yeah.
Also, read a book.
Solid advice.
That's
true.
good advice.
I expected the little rainbow to come out at the end.
Also, one of my favorite things Archer has ever shouted at Lana, "You never mind!" and "Shut up!" So with that, let us sign off. I'm John Barrett. I can be found on Twitter at @JDuganBarrett or on Tumblr at bopmarykill.tumblr.com.
I am Justin McGee, and you can find me on Twitter, I don't know, Justin P. McGee.
I believe it's Justin P. McGee.
I don't even know anymore. Try that one. Yeah.
And I am Dave Klein. You can find me at the Dave Klein or my website www.djk-online.com.
I'm Greg Goodness, and I might get back on Twitter someday. We'll see what happens with that.
He might. So thanks, folks.
One of us. One of us. Okay.
We're taking off. Catch
Thanks.
us next week. Same bat time. Same bat channel.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.